Hi, this is Dee. We're going to get started with our 2:30 session. Just to let you know, the handout is, excuse me, at the top of the screen in the left-hand corner. Please check in with your organization. Just to let you know, I did add failings to the DHS organizations. So take a look there to check in so that we can keep track of who's here. And if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat pod on the left-hand side. We will try to answer as many questions as we can. And if you need to see something else again, please let me know. Excuse me, somebody just moved my check-in boxes. All right. As we are talking about this section, we are going to be talking about career readiness, and we will be covering the career readiness from the workforce professional side of things. We will be talking about the Summer Youth Employment Guide, and we will be talking about Youth Employment 101. The handout is there for your reference. It is screenshots. We will be doing this live from the internet for this presentation. So we will pull these check-ins back over in just a moment, or when we're done with the presentation. So if you did not get a chance to check in, please check on it at the end of the session. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen so that you can follow along with what I'm talking about today in the presentation. If you were not in the earlier session, we talked about how to access the professional's guide. You go to the bottom of the website and find the partners area where it says SYEP guide. As you click on that screen, on that link, that will take you to the guide where all of your resources are. We did talk about all of these resources in the 1 o'clock session. It was recorded and will be posted for you under the archived training videos. In this session, we are talking about career readiness. To access the career readiness, you are in the guide, and you just have to go to the career readiness block. It gives you all of the information that is available for you right now, and we do have some resources that will be coming soon, so please don't worry, it will be there for you soon. One of the first things is to help your students prepare. As you are helping them do their career plans, you will need some assistance. So we do have a PDF guide available for you. All you have to do is click on the link in your guide and then print this off. It gives you some guidelines for time. It gives you some questions that you might want to talk about, some direction or some activities that you may want to plan on using with your students. So it's all there spelled out for you. Why reinvent the wheel, but you can always supplement it. Also, we have our Employment 101 guide. We will be going here. I do want to do that live from the youth perspective, so we won't be clicking on that here. If you do need to help a youth recover their password, we do have directions in a PDF format for you. I will show you where that link is one more time. How to access the pre-assessment, it shows here. I will show you that as well. And the pre- and post-assessment overview is also available in a PDF document. As we're going on down, we have the Employment 101 guide and all of the information that goes along with that. We have the Career Plan Instructor Guide posted for you again, as it was in the first block section. help them recover their password in case they've forgotten it between the time they signed up and the day you want them to use the Employment 101 guide, and then how to access your 101 guide for the youth, and then a job search plan instructor guide that is available for you to help the youth plan on looking for job search. So that's a really great reference there. How to access the post-assessment, printing out the certificate of completion once they have done their post-assessment test, and then, again, the pre- and post-assessment overview. So that's your tools in your career readiness. Once we go back to the partner guide, you can access your partner tools on the guide screen at the top of the screen where it says sign in to your SYEP partner tools. This is for the providers. Those of you providers who are on the screen, this is for you. It is not for youth or any of your customers. So when you click on this, it will ask you to log in with your username and password. Now, your organization may be set up in the system, but any of the users that you have that need to access the dashboard needs to have a Workforce Professional account, and then you need to email that information to, and if somebody can type this into the chat pod for me, SYEP 2014 at illinoisworknet.com. Let them know that person needs to have access to the guide. So please make sure that if they need access to the dashboard, you have submitted their name and your organization name for approval to do that. Sorry, wrong screen. So once you are in the user guide, and sorry, I need to log in again. It must have logged me out. This takes you to your dashboard. Here. All right. Here we go. So your dashboard lets you access all of the information for the youth. And as you're going through this, you will see the youth, and you will be able to sort through whether they're enrolled, whether they've had their pre- and post-assessment, and the if they are complete or not, whether they're enrolled, whether they have eligibility, and then you can do a search, and it will show you that Peter Parker and Parker Posey both have a profile. You can go in here. Again, you can access their application, and at the top you can then access the employers and where the youth are with this. So that is one of the tools that you can use to help your youth with their program and get them into an employment status. Now, from the youth's perspective, they will have, and let me go to their screen. Once a youth is into the system, they would have completed their application. They would then go back to their program and log in from their page, from their user profile page. That would take them to their dashboard. And that is, I'm having too many windows open. So they log in through their system, and they get to their dashboard where they can, I'm in the adults dashboard, I'm sorry. Where they can access their Employment 101 guide. After they've done their pre-assessment, they can come into this, and this is the employment guide, Employment 101. Here they can prepare a career plan by doing one of these 3 activities, following an order, or they can skip around. But if they explore careers, they can discover careers that match their interests. They will do an interest profiler, and what this does is it opens up a resource for them on the website. And again, if a youth is not able to be enrolled in the program, these tools are still available for them. So they can do the interest profiler, the skills profiler, find out the different aspects of work that are the most important for them, and then find out some information about different career clusters. So this lets them do any of these activities. Also, they can, and when they're done with that particular activity, they mark it as done, and it shows up on the side. So when they explore jobs and careers, what you should know, some career wage information, and maybe they will have saved a career by this time. So I saved welder as one of my options. What I found out about this was that it's a high-demand job. The wages are $25 an hour. The things I like about the job is that it's fast-paced, and what I might dislike about it is it's a little dirty. And if I don't want to get my hands dirty, I may not want to look at that career path. When you've entered any of this information, you save changes, and this will help build that youth's career plan. Then you want to identify any soft skills. You can take a look at any of this information that's available in here. We have articles and different features, things that the youth can read along here. Do you need a work permit? What are the technical skills required? And then we've got some job skills guide. Additionally, some articles that might help them determine some different things related to finding a job. Once they've done all of this, then they would click done, and following on through to identify your technical skills and transferable skills. You can look at some videos. You can use the optimal resume skills assessment tools. This will take them to the additional website for optimal resume, and they would then log in with their Illinois WorkNet user account that they've already established. If they've discovered some things, what do you like about this career, new and different? They have certifications that are available. And what do you dislike about this career? Maybe there's nothing. So they just type in nothing. And when they save those changes, they can then mark done on this. After they've saved all of their changes in a section and go back to the guide, it shows that they've checked off one of the Explore careers. Under Explore Training and Get Qualified, there's additional information that they can look at. And if you notice, the color on this box changed, and we have a line across the top here that shows how much of the plan they've already completed. So this is a great tool for you to maybe work in a group in a computer lab to help them with this. Under Explore Training, we have some additional items to help them that they might want to do. Find training programs, for example. And I would look at the welder position again. And if they've created more than one position, they can do this for each of those positions. And maybe we type this as Welding 101. The training plan's length is 18 months. The notes can take classes at 5 community colleges in the area. So I save those changes. Maybe you want to compare the pros and cons of a particular training plan. So this will give you some resources to accomplish that. How do you find out about student loans? Supporting yourself while you're in training. Identify the pros and cons. So this actually talks you through. Maybe I want to go to Rock Valley Community College welding program, and the estimated cost is going to be, say, $7,000. Available financial aid, we have a Pell Grant, we have WIA money. Maybe they qualify for a Native American student grant. So we can save those changes. Then when we go back to our guide, we know, oops, sorry, I missed a step. I forgot to mark that these two were done. I go back to the guide. We've got even more of our line turning green. When we're looking, yes, Stephanie, these sections are activated right now. You do have to have a user account. I am actually logged in as me instead of as a test account. So this is available. You do have to have an Illinois WorkNet account. So if you don't have your Illinois WorkNet professional account or a personal account, you'll have to set that up. When I go to the top of the page, and we're working on getting this wording changed so that we know that we're looking at our plan, we can go in and view the details of our plan. So right now we have our welding with all of the information about it, the training plan associated with it, and as I add additional items, those items will show up further at the bottom of the screen. So going back to the plan, we can look at getting qualified. What are the aspects of the program? When we look at the plan, what are our options? Will we get a return on our investment? So again, we pick our program that we set up. We pick our training plan, and what's our estimated return on investment? If it costs us $7,000 and we can make $25 an hour, we just have to figure out what our rating is on that. So the estimated rate of return might be 6 months. After we're done with training, we need to have a job that will pay us back for that training. So that's a part of that plan that you can do. Once you get that checked off, you make a plan, determine SMART goals. So what is a goal that you might want to establish? So a goal, fill out a training, school application. Add that. Maybe there's another goal that you need to add in there as well. Then we want to add, how measurable is it? Add a step. Submit. Whoops, got to spell it right. Submit by email. Target date might be Friday the 4th. Add that. So we've got a goal, we've got a time frame, and we've got the steps. So we have to find the application, so that we need to back up from there. So the target date might be today. Add that. So it's real easy to fill this information in and then find out whether or not it's attainable and what are the possible choices. Can't find the application online, or the link is bad. So would we call the school? So helping the youth figure out what the challenges are would help them get through this whole process. And you might want to try doing that in a classroom setting or one-on-one. Once it's done, then we can take a look at applying for financial aid. There's no associated career plan items here. When we complete training and earn credentials, what are the credentials that we might want to earn? We have different lists of things that show what the credentials are, so that you can find out all the different parts of that, and there's nothing associated in the career plan for that. So once we're done, we've completed all 4 items, we go back to our guide and we notice that our green line is even further along. When I go back to look at the details of my plan, then we take a look and we see that my job search plan is started. I'm sorry, not started. My career plan is started with the training. Then we take a look at what the job search plan might be, whether you have a resume ready, whether your portfolio is ready, and both of those items are available on Optimal Resume. When you're in the Achieve Your Goals, these are all portions of the program that they can start reading. And if you look, we have a Smart Plan tab that we can fill out all of our goals and what the possible roadblocks are or things that might slow me down. So these are great items that are available for your youth in this guide. So let's take a moment right now to see if we have any questions. We do have from Karen. When we send them out for work experience, do we match their career plan goal? That would probably be as good of an idea as you can. Sometimes some of the youth may have a career goal that is not exactly considered safe for the work experience. So you need to make sure that wherever you're sending the youth, that those jobs are within the approved list of jobs. Career plans are not necessarily required, but it is part of the Employment 101 guide, so if they can at least take a look at them, that would be part of their, for lack of a better word, seat time that we're using in the program. So establishing a career plan may not be what they end up doing long term, but it is what we want them to do in the job search portion of this SYEP program. All right, so let's take a look at the next portion of this about preparing for a job search plan. Under the Get Prepared, we're going to get organized. How do they get organized? You might want to take a look at the 9 steps of a job search. Do they have a list of their work history? Do they have a list of transcripts from high schools or colleges? Maybe they're a little bit older and have had a semester in a community college, so they might need a transcript. Do they have any certifications? What are those? Do they have a driver's license? Maybe they have another kind of license. What sort of job skills do they have? And then what kind of transferable skills do they have? Maybe they've done some babysitting and had to do some specific things for that babysitting job. Or maybe they had a first job. What are some of the skills that they can take? In here we have articles and all different sorts of resources that the youth can read to take a look at making sure that they've got the information available to help with this. And as they obtain these items, they can check them off. And then once they're done with the getting organized, they can click Done on here. Under Preparing Your Resume, it takes them to the Optimal Resume tool. We have an hour webinar on how to use the tool. It is a great, great, great tool. And we have all sorts of information and articles about creating the keywords and using those items for making their resume the best possible tool that they can have. So once they have their initial resume put together, they can mark that off. And within Optimal Resume, there is a link that you can share to a resume. So it is, you would put that link in there, and it does start with Illinois WorkNet, Optimal, and then maybe it's Dee's resume. You want, whenever you're naming these, you want to make sure that you're naming them with somebody's first and last name and potentially the job title that for which they're looking, just so that it gives the person some recognition in the link that they might be sending off to somebody else. Once they're done with the preparing the resume, they can go down to the next step for preparing your portfolio. We have a whole list of things that might be included in a portfolio. If somebody's a graphic designer or has done some things that they've taken pictures of, they can include those items in their portfolio. An Optimal Resume has a great portfolio tool to use for the system. And then last but not least, under Prepare a Plan, again, we have the SMART goals. And as we're looking here, what are the SMART goals under a job plan that somebody might add? So maybe the goal is to complete somebody that in the past may have helped somebody else get a job. So volunteering always helps. It's never about who you know. It's about who they know. Back to our guide. So now I didn't check off some of these items. Otherwise, my whole plan would be done. And as we're looking at this, this helps the youth prepare their plan, make sure that they've got a career plan. It helps them prepare for a job search plan, helps them achieve their goals, and it helps them ascertain what those goals are. So as they're looking for a job, we have information, and the view of this will be changing, but it lets them enter employment information of where they have applied and what they need to put on the application or take to the interview with them. So this is all really great information to have for their purposes going forward. So that's it for our Employment 101 guide. And as we move out of this section, once they are done with all of this and then take their post-assessment test, they will be able to print a certificate. And I'm going to move the presentation over real quickly here and slide through it so that I can show you where they would be able to get their certificate. All right. Once they're logged in under Career Readiness, there is a box where once they're all done and their post-assessment scores over 70%, there's a box that they can click where they can print their certificate with their very own name on it. I would suggest that they get a copy of their certificate and you keep a copy of their certificate for their files. So when you are on the SYEP guide, on the SYEP website, a youth can return to their application right here on this box where it says return to your SYEP application and tools. It will ask them to log in. And it will take them to the page that I cannot log into at this moment. Try this one more time. It's not letting me go. Let me try from this screen. Let me try from this screen. All right. I apologize. I can't get there right now. But when they log in from their account, it will take them to their dashboard, the youth dashboard, so that they can, this is the screen, so that they can find their pre-assessment. They can go to Employment 101. They can get to the career plan, the job search plan, and then the Achieve Success. Here's where they would get to the post-assessment to take that test. And then just below that is where they will log in to print their certificate. So Let's check to see if we have any additional questions from the audience. The official start date is July 1st, as soon as they get all of their applications improved and enrolled. We are working to find out when they can start working. I have a call into DHS and DCEO. DHS, the program just became available today, so I have a call in to Ashley about that. What is the approved list of jobs? It's not really a list of jobs. There are just some that are not allowed, and that is in your program guide. July 1 is not the start date if you have employers and youth. I'm not quite sure what that meant. Rose Talley asked for clarity. Are there specific areas that need to be completed in the career plan prior to the youth starting at their work site, or is this an ongoing process? There's two ways to do this. One way is to have the youth do all of that in one fell swoop, one sitting or two sittings, whatever their attention span will take. They can complete all of that all at one time. Or you can do it over a period of time and let them work. Maybe they come in one day a week to do the career readiness portion of the program. It depends on how ready you as providers feel that your youth are for that work experience. We want them to be successful, so in some cases they may need to participate in the in the career readiness before they actually process through and do the work experience. So Rose, I hope that answered your question. You're welcome. And if we have any other questions from the audience, let me pause for just a moment to take those questions. And the other thing that I want to do is open back up the check-ins so that if you did not already have a chance to check in from your organization, you can do that now. There are no unacceptable companies. There are unacceptable jobs, and in the program contract guide that you received, those types of jobs are listed in there. Many of them have to do with the safety of the youth. So, for example, they cannot work in many of the construction jobs. They might be able to work in the office doing paperwork, but they could not work out in the field on any of those jobs. Do youth have to complete the job readiness in a particular order? No, they don't, but it does make sense to follow in the order if the youth have had no previous work experience. It just helps them understand the process a little bit better. Do we have any, Edson, did that answer your question? Will there be enough time for students that are going back to school in August? Enough time for what, Karen? To complete the program. In most cases, the Employment 101 guide can more than likely be completed in 10 hours or less. That's 10 hours sitting there working on it. I would think that the youth should be able to do that before they have to return to school in August. And Edson, hour completion, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Karen, I don't know the answer. A lot of that is spelled out in your contract, the length of the subsidized assignments. Okay. All right. I'm not seeing any other questions being typed right now. Please make sure that you checked in. The handout is available in the pod above the chat pod. If you have any additional questions, you are always welcome to send those to SYEP 2014 at illinoisworknet.com. And we will have 2 more webinars tomorrow. One is on work readiness, and one is on payroll and reporting. And just as a reminder, some of these functions are in the process of being set up right now. We will continue to apprise you of the information that is available as we move through the process on our updates. So if you take a look at the updates on the SYEP website, then we will let you know what is new and improved about the Illinois WorkNet Summer Youth Employment Program 2014. Karen, again, the list of unacceptable jobs, we'll put that on the FAQ. In most cases, it's not jobs, it is types of jobs. So, for example, as I mentioned earlier, construction jobs. They cannot work on construction jobs. They cannot work at the casino. They cannot work at, we will find the entire list of unacceptable items and add that to the FAQ. I see no further questions. If we will be ending the recording. And thank you very much for your time and attention.